What's up, you guys? It's Pete Thorne. Welcome to the studio. Hey, this is a little bit of a different video I'm making today. It's not about guitar pedals or guitar amps or guitar pickups. It's actually about my studio monitors. If any of you out there do recording or mixing or both, you know, whether recreationally all the way to professionally or anywhere in between, I'm sure you'll agree with me, your studio monitors are like probably the most important piece of equipment in your studio. How are you supposed to dial in a guitar sound or mix a song if you can't trust what's coming out of your speakers? If you're trying to make, say, the right choice about what microphone to put on a guitar cabinet, how can you tell if the speakers aren't translating the information coming from the microphones in a way that makes sense to you and that you understand and trust? Now, this is not a video that I thought I would be making. What do I mean by that? Well, I've been using the same studio monitors for like 18 years. Maybe more, 19 years. I've actually had two pairs of them going all the way back to 2006. I wore out the first pair after a number of years, went to the local shop and bought some more. That's how much I trusted them. I just knew what was going on with them. I felt like, okay, I'm basically happy with these. I know that everything's in balance at a certain point. I turned multiple friends onto them, recommended them. They went and got some and we're all happy with them. So I didn't really feel the need to make a change, to be honest. One thing, I've never had a sub in my studio. I just never went there. I always felt like the room was a little too small. And so I was, at least with those previous speakers, feeling like I didn't know exactly what was going on down, say, below 80 hertz. So along comes Barefoot, and they've got this new studio monitor, near-field monitor, called the Footprint 03. Three-way system with a mid-range, a tweeter, 6.5-inch woofer, tri-amped, of course, 240 watts per speaker, ported design. They asked me if I wanted to check them out. I don't want to say reluctantly, but I was sort of like, well, I know I'm probably not going to like them as much as what I got because I'm just comfortable with what I've got, but okay, I'll give them a go. So they sent them out. I put them up against my other speakers. I had both sets of speakers up. I got a switch here from Radial that I can switch between two sets of speakers. So I set up the Footprint 3s. I got some levels, made sure they were at the exact same balanced level as my other speakers. And then I started flipping between the sets of speakers, listening to some program material that I was really familiar with. I knew within 30 seconds that this was something special. It was like I was used to my other speakers giving me a clear picture of what was going on in the highs and the mid-range and all the way down to maybe 100 hertz. And below that, I kind of knew how to work with them. This was like similar but more defined mid-range, extended top end that I was trusting. Like, didn't sound worlds apart, but it was just more defined and better all the way through the mids and the highs. And then the biggest difference was in the lows. I could hear what was going on all the way down to like 40 hertz. Bass guitar, kick drum, just subby stuff. I was hearing things that I just couldn't define on my other speakers. My eyes are terrible. You ever go to the eye doctor, you know, and they flip those things in front of your eyes and, you know, it's bad, and then all of a sudden, oh, that's better. It's kind of like that. It was like all of a sudden the clarity improved, but it was all the way through the whole range. Familiar and better. Now, my good old friend Dave Fredman happened to be around that day, and he came walking in and was listening as well, and he's like, what are those speakers? Those are amazing. Dave is, of course, known for his great sounding guitar amplifiers, amplifier modifications, building pedal boards and racks, and of course, you gotta have good ears to do all that stuff. And what a lot of people don't know about him is actually going way back, he has recorded a lot of bands, produced a lot of bands, mixed a lot of music. So I trust his opinion on such things, and he loved them right away. He said, those are so much better than your other speakers. So I was getting that confirmation as well, not even that I needed it because I was hearing it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put these up and I'm going to do some projects on these speakers. I'm going to see over the next, month or so how the mixes translate. And everything was just working. Like, it was not a difficult transition. Biggest fear for me, like as a recording engineer and mixing engineer, is not knowing what's going on. I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what's happening with some frequency or a level or imaging or what. All that stuff was not a problem with these speakers. I mean, I just knew what was happening, trusted my instincts, and the results worked. My mixes were translating in the car, on earbuds, YouTube. So I was sold, and I've kept them. Now let's talk a little bit about the speakers. Like I was saying, three-way system, tri-amped, 240 watts a cabinet. It's a new ported design, and that's contributing towards the extended low end and clear low end response that I was mentioning. So between the port and then the really interesting cabinet design that they use, and the speakers are hefty, and I guess there's damping going on and stuff on the inside, really, really clear transients and everything's in balance. There's some DSP going on, and that also supposedly is contributing to the balance and the low end extension and all that. And you also get this meme, they call it, control. This basically switches you between a few different DSP patterns that simulates different types of speakers. So the flat position is the sound of the Footprint 3s. Then you've got a hi-fi position that emulates consumer-grade hi-fi speakers. Sounds a little more extended top end, low end, a little more scooped in the mids. Old school setting, that's our favorite speakers that start with Y, that have the white drivers. And then finally cube setting, and that gives you kind of more like, I believe, sort of an Oratone style small speaker. Most of the time I'm on the flat setting though, and that works great for me. So these aren't an inexpensive speaker, but they're surprisingly affordable, actually. I think they come in at a really, really nice price point. They're only a little bit more expensive than what I was using. It's a very reasonable price, I think, for the quality of the speaker and the experience. You know, Barefoot's known for their super high-end studio monitors. So if you're interested in checking out what they come in at, look at the link down in the video description below. Click there. It'll take you to a page. You can check it out. The most important thing in my studio, you know, next to my guitars and amps, I guess. But even with my guitars and amps, if I can't hear what's going on with them coming out of the monitors, I can't record and mix. So thanks Barefoot for making some great speakers. I love these in my studio. They're knocking me out. I wouldn't have them here. I'd have the speakers that I bought years ago still here, and I'd be working on those, you know, if I was more comfortable on them. So that's my endorsement. You know, very comfortable on these, very happy with them. I feel like I've made a significant step up. It's not a lateral move. It's just better. Check them out down there in the links below. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching. Take care. Over and out.